Hello, hello. Are we live? Give me a second, guys. Let me check if we are live or not. Am I streaming? Yes, I am. Welcome back to stream, guys. Welcome back to stream. If I can just do that, and yeah, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. So with that said, let's get started with today's stream, shall we? So I'm just gonna do that. Hello, Octo, welcome to the stream. So this is a currency converter that we'll be building in today's stream. You can, from a bunch of these things. You can also swap between these from this button right here. So that will be what we'll be building in today's stream. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Will be a short stream, and yeah, that's pretty much it. NPR Machayo. No, we're not using NPR. I mean, we could, but I don't want to. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's do it. So first, what I'm doing is making index.html file. So here, what I'm doing is basically doing that. And yeah, I'm just gonna hit go live here. And there we go. And what I'm also doing is also making a style.css file and script.js. Then we're gonna quickly make this. I'm just gonna type hello there, hello Lumin, welcome to the stream again. Good to see you back. So we're making a currency converter today. So yeah, if I wanted to show you how it would look like, I can just probably go right here, do that. This is what we'll be building today. Pretty nice. You can, convert to different things. And yeah, it also has this drop down. You can also type your own given thing. Like, oh, that US dollar is really powerful. I'm just noticing that. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, let's build this thing. I'm just gonna type that there, make my boilerplate, doing style.css and script.js. There we go. That is our boilerplate. So yeah, how have you been, guys? How was your day? Was it good? So I'm gonna make header first. So I'm just gonna do header badge and do daily design challenge. Hello Cecile, welcome to the stream as always. Good to see you there. And do header badge again. I can just copy paste that. And probably just type a random day. To be fair, it's a dummy date, but yeah. I was making Netflix loan earlier today. Oh. Damn, okay. It's like only CSS. Netflix loan is actually a good way to start, actually. I remember I made like the first project I made was a Google clone because I was not good that time. So I'm just gonna do container, and here I'm just gonna do amount section. Inside the amount section, I'm gonna make a section label, just like that. I'm doing amount, just like that, and give a amount. It's not popping up there. That's weird. I hit go live again. There we go. It's right there now. Okay, so amount, I'm just gonna do input container. Getting better every day, that's good to hear. Nice. Good luck, man. You know what happened today? I ate too much and I feel a lot, like I feel really bloated right now. Do type number. And here I'm just gonna do class, set that to amount. Input ID, I'm gonna give it a amount input. Also give it a value. So value, I'm gonna give by default, I'm gonna set that the value to 1000. That will be the, you know, the value. And minimum, I will just give it 0. And step means how much from it should increment. So I'm just gonna do 0.01. And yeah, it will increment by a really small value because this will be US dollars, and US dollar is again really expensive. Is it the right term to like say it's expensive? Because it is, like compared to other. I mean it's not technically, but like it's still very powerful currency. So you're a selector and also do from currency. And here I'm just gonna do flag dot USD here. Had McDonald's twice today. Is it like the, you know, the actual programming tactics? Like ordering McDonald's and just coding all day? Is it that? Coding currency and just do USD here. I'm gonna do that. That's the thing, right? Now, next thing what I'm gonna do is we'll be building a drop down, right? So for that, I'm just gonna do. We'll be hard coding a drop down. So I'm gonna do drop down icon. So this will be the icon for drop down, the empty div. Now for the actual drop down, right? This icon will be using JavaScript, or we can probably use CSS too. We might, depending on which, we'll just use it. So it should be fine. Now for drop down, what I'm going to do here is basically just do drop down item. Actually, we have to make the external div first. I'm just going to do drop down and do from drop down. So there will be two drop downs. So for the from drop down. I was too bored and McDonald's is right next to my house, so I took my laptop there to kill time. Okay. Nice. I mean, I don't know how McDonald's is supposed to look like. I mean, I do see see like McDonald's in videos, but like, since there is no McDonald's in Nepal, so I actually don't know how it is to be in one. So that's pretty cool, man. Do items. Now we'll be using datasets for this, so just do data and type currency. Just like that, and do USD. Boom. For USD, right? So here, you can use flag and USD. And under this, I'm going to use a span that says to label not USB, USD. Oops. Okay. Sometimes just grab a drink and sit there the whole day. Oh. Okay. Don't you get bored though? Like sitting there like whole day? Or you're just like on your laptop? If it's that, then it makes sense. So I need to make a couple different. So this will be for NOK, this will be for euro, this will be for pound, and that will be for the thing. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's pretty much it. Format the document here, and now we'll just do that. That will be for an OK. We'll be using CSS to change that, like change the background. So that's one thing. I'll just do UR right now. UR, just like that. And OK. And also do so I can do that. Oh, I can UR and do GBP, so that's Great Britain pound. Same goes for that. Why am I writing M? And do that too. And what? At last, I'm just gonna use that, copy paste there. Just gonna do JPY. Yeah, when a laptop learning to code, plus you get free Wi-Fi and can charge your device. That's so like, oh my god, it's so funny. I mean, it's convenient, you know. It is really convenient. So yeah, actually pretty solid. I think I might start doing that when I go to restaurants. Pretty cool idea. And yeah. But like, I'm kind of a guy who never leaves the house. So I don't know. So the converted amount here. So I'm just gonna do that. And do amount converted. Just write a random name, random thing. So just like 34, I don't know, 480.24 random number. And yeah, that should be it. So that should be enough to do the thing. So that'll be the main container here. So after this container, what I can do is do swap. For the swap container, I'm just gonna use a div for swap button, ID for swap button, and just do swap icon, just like that. That will be the icon that we'll be using. No, I'm late again. No, you're not late. We're like what, 10 minutes into the stream. I get that introvert feeling. Yeah, true. I mean, I almost never ever leave the house. So I don't know. I have some kind of problem. So here, what I can do is what I'm gonna do here is, since it's basically the same thing here. This thing right here. So I'm gonna copy that for now. And I'm gonna start making the things. So I'm just gonna do converted section, do section label, do converted to, right? And do amount input container. Brian, welcome to the stream. Oh, I forgot to say your name. Everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm actually really tired today. Oh my god, I'm kind of heading. This will be a short stream, and yeah, I don't know. I'm actually feeling really bad. So do converted amount display, and also do converted result. Here inside this, I'm just gonna do like random numbers for now. We'll change that using JavaScript, obviously. After this, I can just paste that. So here I might have to change a few things. So if I just go for my document here, it's the same thing, but from, I'm going to change that to. Same goes for dropdown. And that will go to an OK. Entry code. I'll go to an OK as well. And every other thing should be the same, actually. I don't think there will be any difference between those. And after this, we'll add the, again, converted amount. So I'm just going to do converted. So this will show the converted amount. And do to converted to KR 393, whatever. That's really long. Something like that. Why not? Just that. I'm just typing if I have. And yeah, after this, it should be the exchange div, and I think we should be good. So this will be rate info. This will basically show the rate info, like the actual rate exchange rates. So here, what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to change that to span. Do rate text. And here, I'm just going to do I am just gonna do mid market rate. And here I'm just gonna do span here as well with the hi Akuto, what's up, man? What are you doing? So do rate value here and also give an ID of rate. How was your day, guys? Again, I'm asking again because I think more people joined in, so it was KR 11.43 and okay. Don't you get confused adding so many divs? I do, but like, as I said, I have a cheat sheet, which I can see. I mean, in an ideal world, you would just probably make HTML and do CSS. But since I would do the same, but like the thing was HTML, there wasn't much HTML, so I would just like get the HTML over, and after I will go to CSS. Sorry if it confused you. Timestamp, because there is not much HTML actually than this time. It's just a random thing. And here, what I can do, and at last, I'm just gonna do button dot swap action button, and just do swap, and basically say on click perform swap. So this is the function that we'll be making in JavaScript, and that's it. That's it for HTML. That's why I wanted to do the HTML first. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's move on to JavaScript. Yeah, what's up, Akuto? So here what I'm going to do is do margin 0 and padding 0. And also do box sizing border box here. That will get rid of all the margins and make it a border box. The next thing what I need to do is basically call the body. do font family and do Apple system here. I don't need this actually. Just the reason I choose this because it looks nice. That's it. Now for the background, I can just do F5, F5, F7. And also do min height set to 100 VH. Also do display flex and do flex direction set to column. Line item set to center, and also do padding set to 40 pixels and 20 pixels. That will basically make it just like that. What I can do is also probably do like content centers. That'll be completely at the middle. That will be ideal. That is really small, so next thing what I need to do is do header and do display flex and put a gap of 20 pixels and do margin bottom set to 40 pixels. And do header badge and do background white and do border 1 pixel solid E5, E5, E7. Also do border radius of 20 pixels and also do padding of 8 pixels and 16 pixels. Also do probably font size of 14 pixels and font weight of 500. Also give a color, a kind of black color, so I'm just going to do 1D, 1D, and 1F. Do display flex and do align items center, gap of 8 pixels. Oops. There we go. That's for header badge. Hello, Coden. How are you, man? Ryan Rivaldi, welcome to the stream. Now for the header badge. Before I'm gonna give a calendar emoji here. I could have used I could have used icons, but I forgot, so this is what you get. I could use icons, but like it's easier. Let's just say that. Also do font 24 pixels, and yeah, it's great. It's nice. Now converter, I can just probably do container here. Background, set that to white. Border 1 pixel solid. E5, E5, and E7. I'll also do border radius to 24 pixels and do padding 32 pixels. How to add that icon in CSS file, sir? CSS file? Like as this emoji right here? Oh, you can just probably Google like calendar emoji. Yeah, there we go. You just copy it and just paste it here. Or like another one. There we go. That should make it. There we go. Link it? I don't think I need to link a Google search though, no? But I'll just send that in chat. There we go. Just in case you need it. Oh, YouTube has a different icon for that. Oops. How in Nepal right now, sir? If you don't want to answer, it's okay. It's stabilizing slowly. If you guys knew, like if you guys saw the news, we elected our prime minister via Discord poll. Yeah, yeah, that's how you know it's a Gen Z protest. You know, when you get a prime minister election by a Discord poll. But a better tip, like Brian, if you want a better tip, I would actually recommend you use actual icons. I didn't do it this time. I normally do it. You can go to Font Awesome, right? You can go to Font Awesome. Quick tip, and search calendar here. Where? Okay, there we go. You can search calendar here, and you can get one of these. Okay, so the downside about this is most of it are paid. So you have to pay for, like, do you see this pro thing? Yeah, it's super expensive. I mean, at least in my opinion, it's good. It might be good for corporates, but it's super expensive for like a learner developer. But they do also offer other icons which are free, so you can use these. And yeah, it's easier, and you get a little bit more control over the icons because you can style these. You can style these like how you style text. You can increase their font size, font weight, or you can change the color. So yeah, that's it. It's great. I'm gonna hope the best for people with the new prime minister. Yeah, I think it will be pretty great because unlike other, I mean, if we were pretty much okay with like our like previous prime minister who was like, I would not say that, but you know what I'm trying to say. But I think the things will look up pretty great after what happened recently. I mean, it came at a cost, I'll say that. A lot of people lost their lives, but yeah, that's one thing I'm still sad about, especially when they were kids. But yeah. You can do 0, 4 pixels, 20 pixels, and RGBA. And I'm just gonna use the black here. Just do that. Should look pretty nice. It is really, really dark though. Oh, okay. That's why. There we go. What am I doing? There we go. I'm just gonna do format document really quick. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also do format again. Now, next thing is the mount section, right? What I'm going to do here is do a mount section and do margin bottom set to 24 pixels and do section label. Section label on, let's say, 86868B, which is a grayish color. Do font size, I'm gonna do 16 pixels. How do you set the value for box shadow? Okay. So this is how you do it. So this is for the X coordinates, right? And this is for Y. So like if I to give you an example, if I do 10 pixel here and 10 pixel like this, right? You see this? You'll get a box shadow like this, something like this. So if I decrease this one, for example, you see a little bit less box shadow here. If I completely go it will erase the shadow for that. Okay? Hopefully you're getting it. Now, so this is the shadow without any blur effect. Now for shadow, there has to be some sort of blur effect, right? So if the third parameter for this is the blur effect. If you add the blur effect, now it depends on how much you add. If you do 1 pixel, it will be less blur. If you do like 20 pixel, for example, it will be more blur. Okay, so that's how you add shadows. But normally I don't use this because it looks pretty okay without it. Right, it is how the shadow is supposed to look like, unless, I mean, it depends on like what kind of effect you're going for. This still looks pretty nice. And the third is for the spread effect. Now, if you give a spread effect of 30, that means how far the shadow spreads. So like for 10 pixel, it will spread less. For like, let's say a lot, like 50 pixels, it will be like full on spread. Normally you never use this. I mean, at least for like a lot of cases, but if you do have to use it, I mean, it's all up to you. And next is the color. So again, this is just color. I can give whatever shadow color I want. That is just how it is. There we go. Now let's actually, I'm just gonna Control Z my way out because yeah, there we go. I hope that does it work the same for text too? Yes, I think so. It's been a while since I used text shadow, but I think it is how it's done. Um, the font, oh, font weight I'm gonna do 400, and margin bottom set to 12 pixels. I hope you understood what I said, and yeah, that's basically how you use it. Amount, and I'm just gonna do input container here. Do display flex, align items, set to center, justify content to space between, and here do margin bottom to about 8 pixels. And yeah, that's pretty much it. For amount, I'm just gonna do input. I'm gonna note the school property right away. I mean, it's not, I mean, yeah, it is important to actually learn box shadow, which, I mean, I didn't do it, honestly, when I was starting out. Now, what I would do is I would just randomly type these properties. I just knew that like last property is supposed to be color and that's it. But I would just type random values until I got my, like, satisfied shadow. Because I didn't know, like, this was for X, this was for Y, this was for blur and spread and all that thing. And do font weight, do 300. What is happening? Okay, that's really long. And here I can just probably like do color, set that to white, border, none, and outline set that to none. What is bad pertaining gliding to Aile? I have don't mention it. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Do width 200 pixels, and yeah, that should make it that work. And there we go. Alicia, you don't have to know about it. By the way, welcome to the stream again. How was your day? I need to get some water, man. It's a joke. That's how that's going on in Nepalese community after the protest, you know? So do display flex here and do align items center and do gap, do background. I can probably do these same color as this. Do border 1 pixel solid. Do that again and do border radius. Do 12 pixels and also do padding set to 8 pixels and 12 pixels. Cursor set to pointer. Oops. And do position set to relative. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now currency selector dot hover. I can do background. Set that to set that to like F0, F0, F2. There we go. That's for the hover. Yo, Gabi. Hey, sad vibe. What's up, man? What's poppin', man? Are you good? Here, what I'm gonna do is do flag. So for flags, right? So for flag, I'm just gonna do width 24 pixels. I'm just gonna do height 24 pixels. And do border radius set to as 50%. Now I need to give flag. I'm just gonna do flag.usd. I'm good. What about you? I'm good, man. I'm kidding. I'm not good. The reason is I ate a lot and I'm bloated. And yeah. So for US, this is how it is. How we'll look. And yeah, another thing I can do is do background. Background size, I can do cover. Also do background position. I'm gonna do center here. Do flex shrink. Set to 0. I don't want it to shrink. Awesome way to manage the width. Fix the width. Yeah, true. Yeah, this is how you do it. We have to make this a drop down, so we'll use position absolute. We'll see. So here, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna just do like, I think, okay, so this is for Norwegian kron. That's another currency. And here, next thing that we have to build is EUR, which is euro. And next thing that we need to do is for what's flex shrink? Flex shrink is a property where, how do I say it? It basically shrinks. Okay. So if you give flex shrink, how do I say it? Yeah. If I go to, yeah, there we go, flex shrink property. So if you give, so I'm just using W3 schools, okay, because you know it's already there. Now this n type 2, which is, I think in this case, what's happening? I don't think you can see. What? So it's a property where like a like actual container shrinks down when it hits the thing. If I can just do that, main div here, id main, and let's say I give flex shrink to the first one, so I'm just gonna give a class to that, something like, I don't know, box. There we go. If I give the property here a box, did I mess up syntax? Oh, I did. There we go. Now if I change this to, let's say, box, right? If I change this to, oops, box, okay. It is not shrinking, but yeah, I don't know why it's not shrinking, but basically it shrinks down faster than the other divs. I don't know how to say it. I have shown this in my Flexbox video. You can check it in the thing, in the playlist in this channel. But yeah, that's what flex shrink does. It basically shrinks. So I'm basically, from this, what I'm doing is I don't want this to shrink, you know, the actual flag to shrink, because it will just make no sense. So I'm just saying that. I'm basically doing that. But yeah, flex shrink is basically, if you have like 5 different containers and let's say you want one of them to shrink, you can put a flex shrink 1 and it will shrink it faster when it hits the actual max width, you know. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so the GBP here, the JPY. And also do JP, not HP, JP. And yeah, that is our thing. So yeah, give me a second here. Sometimes I don't get the whole thing, you know. Or like, I think this just does not make sense. Okay, let me style more now. So here I'm just gonna do currency code and do font weight, set that to 600. So do color, set that to our signature color here, and do font size set to 16 pixels. And where's what? I closed the chat. Oops, give me a second, let me bring it back. There we go. And yeah. So for drop down icons, so next is drop down icon, right? So I'm just gonna do drop down icon and do width 0, do height 0, and do border left, do like 4% solid transparent, and same goes for the icon. So icon is this, right? It's gonna do that, and for right and top, and I'll change that to this color. That'll for the drop down, right? Now next thing I can do is do margin left. I can probably do 4 pixels. Yeah, there we go. Can you tell me when to use overflow? Overflow is used when you don't want a container to overflow. How do I say it? Okay, so have you seen that view more thing? Like, wait, you know, like let's say the container is just this much, but there'll be a view more button, and when you click it, the container just becomes bigger. That is one of the examples of overflow. Okay. Let me see if I can pull something out. view more. So that is one of the applications you can use for overflow, like flex shrink. No, flex shrink and view, like, no, overflow is completely different. Um, let's say that what happens is when you make a container smaller, right? Sometimes what happens is, let's say you don't want the contents of that container to overflow, which will just basically ruin the layout. What you can do is just say, like, I don't know, overflow to set that to hidden, or you can set the overflow to scroll, whatever you want, mostly hidden. And what happens is basically the contents will not be will not overflow from that container. Like if I do, let's say, overflows CSS, come to like DoubleTree school, like this one right here. Okay, if I go here, you see this? Like the contents here, the container is just this big, but the contents are overflowing. So to prevent that, you just put hidden here, so that will make the contents not overflow, just like that. You can also make this content scroll. That will basically make it so the content is scrollable, just like that. You can experiment with like this. It's especially useful. Like it's what? Oops. Why am I like? I have a habit of like control S'ing every time I write, but like yeah, this is I keep forgetting this is the website. I'm not coding real time. So this is one of the applications. This is basically it. Without the overflow, if I just close the overflow completely, right? The content will overflow just like this. By default, it will just be set to overflow visible. So this will be visible like this. It will have the same effect. And when you do hidden, that'll basically just put whatever property of overflow you put. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There are other properties you can just experiment. There's hidden, there's scroll, I showed you too. There's auto, where it just auto scales your similar to scroll, but as a scroll bar when necessary. If basically what happens is if it's overflowing, it will add a scroll bar. If it isn't overflowing, it will just do nothing. And that's pretty much it. An icon. The dropdown is looking pretty amazing right now. It's not looking like a dropdown, but because we haven't styled it yet, we'll do it in a bit. But for now, let's do other stuff. And do converted. Hopefully that cleared that up. Let me know if it did. Do font weight set to 400. That's basically it. If like your contents are overflowing and you don't want them to overflow, or just have a specific control over the container, you use overflow property. So yeah, do swap container, do display flex, and do justify content center, and do margin like 24 pixels and 0. There we go. Illumined. Did that? I want to know if it cleared your confusion. I need water, man. Okay, it's gonna go for a bit and get water. I'm actually really thirsty. Swap buttons. I'm just gonna get these. Get that. Set the width. Awesome. But the thing is, I don't have water in my room, so I have to go all the way to kitchen to get water. And I'm too lazy. So yeah. You got it, thanks. Let's go. Do hide 40 pixel here. and do border, do 1 pixel solid E5, E7, and do border radius set to 50%. The background set to white. Also do cursor set to pointer. Also do display flags and align items set to center. Just oops. Set to center, and also do transition set to all 0.2 seconds at E. So that is for the swap button, right? That's for the swap button. Now for the container, I have to make the hover, so I'm just gonna make the hover effect for that. For hover effect, I'm just gonna change the background to this one right here. It's gonna transform. I'm gonna rotate it 180 degrees, just like this. Now for the swap icon, what I'm gonna do is do width 0. I'm gonna do height 0. And do border left 6% solid transparent. I'm gonna just make a triangle here and just do that. And do 8 pixel, oops, on top. Change that to 8 pixels, solid. Do that, that'll give me thing. Looks pretty nice. There we go. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the thing. Now for the converted amount, right? Which is this. Now for the converted, I need to first style the thing. So I'm just gonna do converted section, do margin bottom set to 32 pixels. So do converted amount and do display font size to 48 pixels. Do font weight set to 300. Color and do margin bottom set to 8 pixels. So that will be the converted amount display. It is really big. But it should be fine once we style the thing. Now for the rate info, which is this right here. So here I'm just gonna do rate info, do display flex, justify content, space between. I'm gonna scroll down because elements are hiding everything, alright? Do align items to center, font size to 14 pixels, and also do margin bottom to 24 pixels. Do rate text, do font weight set to 400. There we go. So the rate value, so I'm gonna set that to color. I'm gonna do light green, why not? Should look pretty nice, really light, okay. A little bit darker. Yeah, there we go. And do font weight set to 600. That will make it perfect. There we go. Do timestamp. Font size to 12 pixels. Now for the swap button. For swap button, what I'm going to do is do swap action button. Do width 100%. Oops. And do background. Background set to color, so I'm just gonna do, let's say 34C759, and do color set to white, border set to none, do border radius set to 16 pixels, and do padding set to 16 pixels as well, and do font size 18 pixels, font weight set to 600. do cursor set to pointer and do transition all 0.2 seconds ease. And yeah, now for the hover effect, as always, we make hover effect for everything. To hover, we'll change that to a little bit darker green. So I'm just gonna copy that, paste that there. And I'm just gonna have a little bit darker green. That's too much dark. Yeah, that should be fine. Also do transform, translate at -1 pixels. So it will lift up slightly. Pretty cool. And for the active, so it will, I can do 3, not going to do 2. It will lift up slightly. And at active, so I'm just gonna copy that. So when you click that, when you click the button, right, it will just transform back to its original Y coordinate. So it will have a clicking effect like this. I'm clicking it, as you can see. Now to make the drop down, right? Now for drop down, that's the last thing I need to make. To drop down, this will be a little bit thing. So first we need to position it absolute, like this. Now top, I'm going to do 100%. Since it's relative to its parent, right? Just like that, it will be just like that. I have set it relative to this div right here. So it's sitting relative to that. I'm going to do left 0, that will basically make it come to right that. And I'm going to do right 0. Will come just like that. And do background, set white. Border, I'm going to set that to 1 pixel solid. I don't get the transform property. There is a lot of things that you can do with transform. Like for example, this all of the translate thing. This basically translate to whatever, you know, coordinates you have. I normally use only X and Y because you don't, unless you're making it 3D, then it's a different thing. You also have a scale, XYZ, whatever. You also have your rotate. Rotate basically rotates it whatever. So if like, let's say, if I just comment that apart for now, and you see the swap button right here. So let's say when you when I click over it, I want it to rotate 360 degrees, right? And just do 360 degrees, and when you click over it, not 360, actually 180, if that work. You see this? Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, you can experiment. You can also do negative 180 degrees. So it opens on negative direction, just like that. Now, I used to play with these, like, you know, putting like really high like coordinates, like let's say 100 pixels, if it works. You see this? It's pretty fun. When you're like, you need to have transition, it's like so fun. Without this, it will just be so like dull. But yeah, with this, it's so fun. You can also do that, you know, do other stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You all have all of these properties here. And yeah. I was yeah, okay, so I was supposed to do, I forgot, no. Okay, I was supposed to do 0, there we go. I forgot what I was doing for a second. Just experiment. That's how you learn, honestly. Just have fun, you know. Like CSS is really fun. I showed you a fun way. See that? Yeah, that's how you do it, man. That's how I learned, honestly. I would just be like 4 hours of doing CSS experiments. Box shadow, I can do 0, 4 pixels, 12 pixels. Just do that, change that to 0.1. And do Z index, set that to 10. Also do margin top to 4 pixels. Max height set to 200 pixels. And do overflow Y to auto. So if the max height, if you okay, I'll tell you the overflow application because it's here. Okay, so here, as you can see, that the contents here are overflowing after I set the max height, right? If I change this, it will just not be overflow. It will not, the content will not overflow because the size of the container changes with the amount of contents, right? But when I set a given max height in this container, if it exceeds the height of container, you see the actual content starting to overflow, right? That's where we use overflow. So in this case, I only wanted to prevent the overflow on the Y, which is, the vertical. So I'm going to do overflow Y, set that to auto. See this? Now it's more organized. Now what happens is if there is enough content, it will not put the overflow. It will just have overflow to visible. However, if the content overflows, it will add a scroll bar, just like that. I hope it cleared even more. And another cool thing that you can do with overflow is you can also make a view more thing from the from using JavaScript and other HTML and CSS. It's pretty fun. If you make a view more thingy, I think it should clear why overflow is very important, honestly. Why type item? We're supposed to do show here. So here I just do display block. So this drop down initially should be display none. You can do display none here. So that's how it should look. That is our overall container. However, we still need to style it, so I'm just gonna undo that and do drop down item and just do display, set to flex, and do align item, set to center. Gap, I'm gonna do 12 pixels, and padding, I can't see anything. Do padding, set that to 12 pixels, just like that. Should look pretty nice and organized. And next, I'm just gonna do border bottom, set to 1 pixel, solid F5, the same thing. Now, if you can see this, and now if I remove the padding, if the content does not overflow, it doesn't make the thing, as you can see here. Now, if I add padding, that basically means the container just becomes bigger. And if it exceeds the max height, which is 200 pixels, then it will just add a scroll bar, giving us a drop down effect. Now, right now, the only thing I need to do is now I need to do drop down dash item. I need to make a hover effect for the item, so I'm just going to change the drop down to this one right here, giving me this. And at last, I want to change the last child does not need a border bottom. So I'm just going to select it from CSS using the last child. That was like the last child of drop down item. And I'm just going to do border bottom set to none. That will basically remove the bot for this JPY because that's the last child. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna uncomment my display none, and yeah, that's pretty much it for CSS. We only have to make loading because we'll also be making loading if we need to. Do that and just do font style set to italic, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll do some small media queries. Set the max width to 480 pixels. And since this is a small thing and it doesn't really have anything anyways, so what I'm going to do here is not play with it a lot. I'm just going to set the padding to 24 pixels. And here I'm just going to do amount input and converted amount display, set that to font size, font size, set that to 36 pixels. And yeah, that's pretty much it for CSS. It should be relatively okay for small screens, just like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the CSS. What's media queries? Media queries is the thing you use for making website responsive. I'll again use W3 schools because it's easier to show just like that. So here what happens is you can basically set custom max width. Let's say you set it for 480 pixels. So what happens is if this view height, right, if the width reaches 480 pixels, it becomes smaller. You see that? Since I made it shrink, now a good example would be to, let's say, change the color to red. Now when we hit, you see this? When you hit the 480 pixels, it'll basically do whatever you told it to do technically. So you can also set custom width. So like say you do this and I close all of this, right? And let's say if it hits like 768 pixels, you change the color to green. Right now it's green, right? Now okay, so I came out of the 768, so it's black right now. I'll slowly move. It will change it to green. If it's smaller, it didn't change to red, that's weird, but you can basically set custom layouts. It's basically that. I need to probably put it here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There we go. You see this? First, in these bigger screens, it will basically put whatever you want. You'll just make it smaller and smaller, putting in whatever you want. It's just how it is, yeah. That's how you make websites responsive. I'm just gonna cut that, and yeah, that is the media queries are for making website responsive to any width and height. Exactly, that's it. Now you can, fun part for what you can do while making websites responsive is that you can basically use this tool. You can go here, you see this? You can click on here and it will basically, you can basically change your width to see is it actually making it responsive or not. In this case, my thing is not responsive for really small screens, as you can see. So iPhone SE, which is this much width right here, this is probably the smallest screen you can make a website responsive for. Now in this case, what's happening here is this right here is not responsive for that small screens because the max I have gone is 480 pixels. Now you have to make it according to that. Now you have bigger screens like iPad, for example, right? In iPad, it will probably look like this. And yeah, you can just see like that. And yeah, now for JavaScript. It's JavaScript time. So what I'm gonna do here is put the current rates to none. Also do from currency code equals to USD. That will be the default thing, right? And do to currency code do an OK. Now what we'll do And yeah, that's pretty much it for the constant variables. So next we have to make a object. So this will basically be a currency info. So just to currency info and just put that. Now for USD, I can just do something like this and do symbol and put the $sign. Now what I'm going to do for next is I'm just going to format document first. So for the rest of these, I'm basically just gonna copy and paste because I've already made 8 things because I don't want this is basically the same thing just for different country. What is this? Currency writing? What do you call it? Basically for, you know, currency logo for different things, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to do document.addEventListener. So every time the DOM loads, every time the website loads, I'm going to trigger a function here. And just, we'll basically get our 3 main function. So one is fetch exchange rates. We'll be using APIs to get the exchange rates. So that will be, this function right here will fetch APIs. We haven't made it. We'll make it in a bit. Do set up event listeners. So if you have any, you know, event listeners, it will basically ready those for us. Just like that. And last is update timestamp. This will basically update the time. So this time right here. This will be static. This will not change. But this right here will be real time. And yeah. Those are the 3 functions that we need to make. How do I start learning JS? Are there courses just for web dev or something else too? I mean, I think you should be ready to learn JS, to be honest. Just start with normal and just ramp up. I think climb up, I mean. There is a tutorial in this channel. You can use that or just use whatever you're comfortable with, honestly. Do functions, so this will be the function that will set up all of our event listeners for us. When do document.getElement by ID, we'll get the amount input, right? And we'll listen to that. We'll get the input and trigger the what is this? Convert currency. So this is another function that we have to make, as I said. Okay. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger another function saying document. I can just probably copy here. This will listen to a from currency ID, right? The actual thing. So that's from that. If I go here and type from currency, which is this div right here, we'll basically listen to that, listen to a click here, and if it listens a click, we'll basically run a function and do e.stop propagation. That will stop from, you know, putting the actual div into the container. If there is an event that is going to get propagated, it will just stop it. It will basically stop that if it's going from parents div, like parents to children, and do toggle drop down. This is another function that we make. Do from drop down, just like that. Next function that we need to make is toCurrency. So this will basically be the same thing. Instead of from, we'll use to, and the same thing, and just have this change to 2, and that's pretty much it. So here, what I'm going to do is get the document. I'm going to scroll down and do query selector all. I'm going to select from dropdown, right? And do two things, that is drop down item. And I'm going to loop that. I'm going to get the item. And do item.addEventListener. We'll listen to a click. Trigger a function here. Select currency. Do from this dot data set dot currency. We'll basically get the data set of, oops. Okay, I misspelled currency. Thank God I saw that. That would have been disaster, honestly. Thank God I saw that. So we'll basically get these values right here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So next is, I'm going to do the to drop down. So this will basically change to 2. Did I misspell another thing here? Hopefully it didn't. It will be a complete disaster. To currency, I don't think. To drop down, there we go. And get the drop down item, the same thing. We're gonna loop this, we'll listen to a click, and we'll set the function to from. We'll change that to 2. And we'll get the data set of the currency. And that's it. And now I'm also gonna listen to the swap. So I'm just gonna do get element by ID. I'm just gonna do swap button here. And do add event listener. I'm gonna listen to a click. And do perform swap. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This will basically they'll basically trigger the swap function. This they basically will make it in a bit. And yeah, I'm just gonna do document dot add event listener. Do click, add a function. I'm also going to do document dot query selector all. I'm gonna get all of the drop down. I'm gonna loop all of that. How long to learn JS from scratch? A month enough? Yeah, I think it should be enough. I mean, JS is pretty big. For basics, then sure, I think it should be enough. Dropdown dot class list dot. Okay, these emits are actually making me mad. Do remove, then show. So with that, I think it should be fine. If I save that, reload the page. Do drop down. Okay, that's true. But if I just completely dissolve that, and here, is there any convert is not defined, convert currency is not defined at JS22. Okay, that's true, it's not defined, I guess. I just comment that part out for a second, I guess. Then what else? Perform swap is not defined. I mean, that is true, it's not defined, so that doesn't mean it cannot get back. save that. So if I here I click on the remove show. Yeah, okay. We'll probably need to we have to make the toggle drop down right now. This right here basically just make sure the drop down actually just disappears when you click on the thing, but okay, moving on. I'm actually like really tired right now. So next we'll be fetching APIs. So we'll be fetching APIs. That's for that. I'm gonna need to make a sync function. I can name it fetch exchange rates. We don't need any parameters. And here, what we'll do is we'll make our try block and do const response equals to await fetch. We will fetch this API right here, just like that, and do const data equals to await response.json. That will convert the JSON file. I'm sorry. Okay, we convert JSON file to. Now for current rates, right? Now for the current rates, what I need to do, I need to actually change that to plural. You can do current rates equals to data dot rates. That'll basically get the data rates. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just we can do console.log. We can log the data here. We can do our console and missing do I really have to make a hatch block just for that, man? I swear to God. Convert. I don't care. And there we go. You'll get data like this. And we just have to make it. So these are all of the exchange rates in the world. I think we don't have that many. But yeah, that is how you get data. And here, what I can do is do current rates dot USD. I'm going to change back to 1 to ensure it's actually always available. If the USD is not there, okay, I don't know why it will not be there, but if in case it's not there, we'll put it in our way. And now we'll just do convert currency. We'll run into that function. And if the thing does not work, let's say the API is not working, we can just make our own exchange rates. So I'm just going to do fetching exchange rates as a callback method. First, we need to log the error to see like what is the error. This is the thing that your user will not see, and do current rates. Make our own thing saying USD. Let's say USD is 1. And I have a bunch of things like NOK is 11.43, and do UR set that to 0.92, and do GBP set that to 0.79, and do JPY set that to 149.5, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now next I can do convert currency again, and yeah, That is our function. The next function is for toggles. So I'm just going to do toggle drop down. I'm just going to get the drop down ID, do const drop down. We need to get the drop down DOM. Do get element by ID. I can get the drop down icon, like drop down here, and let's scroll down actually. Do drop down dot class list dot toggle. I can toggle the shell. Like that. Now here, if the drop down is actually there, then it will just work just like that. So, you know, the toggle drop down should work. It's not working with a lot of errors because we haven't made a lot of things. So yeah, we'll make in a bit. So I mean, after that we'll see if it still does not work. And yeah, now to select currency, what I can do here is make a function that is select currency, give it a type, and do currency here, and do if type is do from here, and do from currency code. We'll set that to currency. And update, we'll basically make another function here, update currency display. I'm just going to do from currency, do currency. That will take that. Else, I'm just going to do to currency code. Just do that. Okay, that's fine. It's only that, and I can change that. There we go, to currency code. And here I can set that to currency. If it's not that, if it's not 4, then it will be 2. And do update current display to currency, and do currency from the document. Do document dot query selector all. Get the drop down and a loop, all of that. Do drop down equals to drop down dot class list dot remove. We'll remove show. And after that, we'll just do convert currency. Oops. That's okay. To convert currency. There we go. Now to make a update currency display function, need element ID and currency. Do const element equals to document dot get element by ID. Get the element ID. Do const flag equals to element dot query selector dot flag, and do const code equals to element dot query selector. Do you work all the time, Gabi? No, my working schedule is kind of flexible. I usually work like what? morning and night. I mean, I'm still working, but yeah. The currency code. Do class name and just do flag and just do currency dot two lowercase and just do that. And yeah, you can just do that and do code dot text content, set that to currency. That is the drop down effect running. So we still have this, which is we haven't submitted. Extend exchange rates, convert currency not defined, and reference error, convert currency not defined. Okay. It's gonna do function here, convert. We're basically making the convert currency function now. And now const amount equals to parse float. That will basically change that to float data type. Do document get element get element by ID. I don't know why I couldn't speak right there. Do amount input and dot value. If either that or if the value isn't there, then we'll just suppose that as 0. Now, if the current rates from country code, so this if it does not exist, so the current exchange rates from country codes. So here what I'm doing is we have our current rates, right? And we're changing if it does not exist, or I do current codes for 2. It's either that or that. If it does not exist, then we'll basically simply return from the function, because it will just not make sense sitting on that. If it does exist, I'm just going to do const USD amount equals to amount dash country current rates and do from country code. I am back. Welcome back. Sad vibes. Converted. Do const converted amount, and we'll basically use the amount into current rates to current country code, currency code. I'll basically do update amount display, do amount, and do converted amount, and do update rate display. Now these two are another 2 functions that we need to make. We're almost there actually. Do you work from home or do you commute? If it's a work, this is like a thing that I can do from home. I'll usually do from home because, you know, it's convenience. But there are some times I have to go to office. So it depends on like what job what work I'm assigned. If it's a video or if there's a meeting, right? If there's a meeting, I have to attend the meeting. I'll go to office. If not, I usually just stay at home. Because, you know, I'm an introvert. What do you do in your free time? Sleep. Just I'm not even joking. I really have free time, and when I do, I just rest. Or I just hang out with my friends, I guess. So I'm just gonna do from to amount. Just like that, do const from. Do from symbol equals to currency info. Do from currency code. And get the symbol here. Right? And currency info is the symbol here. And also get const to symbol. So this is the same thing. So I need to get currency info and do to currency code. Oops. And then I just get the symbol here and const from formatted equals to format currency from amount from currency code, and just copy paste that, saying to formatted, same function. I'm just going to change that to amount and to currency code, and that's pretty much it. Here what I can do is do document dot get element by ID. I can get the amount converted and do text contents, set that to from symbol, and I can set that to from formatted. And next thing I need to do is do document dot get element ID, same thing. This time I need to do converted result. Hopefully that exists, right? Yeah, it does. Great. Do result and do dot text content equals to format display amount, and just do to amount. Are you happy with your job? Yeah, I am. Yes, I am. I mean, I love making videos and I love coding, so it just is perfect thing for me. I just got only 4 hours of sleep today, and when I reached university, a girl was crying and yelling, and I got a headache. um, ID. Why did you sleep for 4 hours though? That's not good. Honestly, I get like 8 hours of sleep, like at least always, but I still feel sleepy, man. I'm like a crybaby, honestly. Do to formatted, just like that. There we go. There we go. For the making the format currency, did I have format current here? I did have format current. Okay. Okay, that should have fixed it. format currency, get the amount and currency, const decimal equals to currency if it's equals to JPY, then set that to 0, else set that to 2, right? And do returns, because you know the thing is really big, and for others then it should be just like that. And there you go, the drop down is working just like that. Now here I can do return amount dot to local string. Local string, you can do n US, just do minimum fraction digits, set to decimals, put that decimals here, and I can do fraction digits and set the maximum fraction digits to decimals. Time to sleep. See ya. Good night. As for the format display, we're almost done. Do function update rate display. I was busy with so many things. I didn't get to time sleep. I told you about my sister's friend's birthday, which I didn't get. Yeah, you did tell me. I think it was yesterday, right? Do const rate equals to current rates to country code, and do current rates from formatted from country code, and do const to symbol equals to currency info, do to currency code dot symbol, do const read formatted equals to format currency, do rate to currency code, and do document dot get element by ID, get rate display, do text content here, and check that to symbol, and to read formatted, put a space there, and to currency code. So that is how we will do. And at last, I need to perform a swap. To perform swap, do const temp equals to from country code, and do from country code equals to currency code, and do currency code to temp, and do update current display to from currency, and do from currency code, update current currency display to currency, and to currency code, just like this. And then last, I need to call convert currency. And yeah, that is our swap. I was forced to go in her party. It was so boring that I did enjoy cake and food stuff. I mean, true, like I don't like being invited to like forced on things. Like sometimes my parents will like randomly take me to a party where like I just know no person, like no people. And I'll just be like sitting with a like glass of Coke because I don't drink. I'll just be sitting on the like edge, like the corner of the room, and just scrolling Instagram. That's me. And I cannot make friends anyway, so it's just no, just that. The last, we have to update the timestamp and do const now equals to new date. When is your birthday, Gabi? It's 14th October, I think. Yes, I think, yeah. That's 14th October. Do const time string equals to now dot to local time string. Change that to US format and do hour. We'll change that to 2-digit. We'll do minute. Change that to 2-digit. We'll do hour 12 to true. Next, we'll do document dot get element by ID. Get a timestamp. Do text content equals to time string. And do set interval. We'll change the timestamp. Update timestamp every 1 minute, and yeah, it should work just like this. Is there any errors? So there are errors. If I go to update amount display, there are a lot of errors actually. Oh, so it's not fetching the data. That's weird. This the API is not working. I go here, so that is on this right here. I think it did it though. No format update. Okay, I forgot to make this function apparently. Then let's quickly make it, shall we? So I'm just gonna do that. And here I'm just gonna do format display amount. This will only have a amount here. And this will for now and 0 now. Just like that. And not this. Oops. You don't need decimals here. And I'm just gonna do change that to 2 and change that to 2. There we go. With that said, it should work like that. For let's say USD. The USD does not seem to work. Two lowercase. So what's the issue? Undefined two lowercase. So it's in the update currency display. And we're setting update currency display. And here to, so if I go back to here, and so what is the issue? So if I do that, should have worked. Currency, so that's currency. We change that to lowercase. Interesting. It's because there is some sort of thing for the 2. It's not working. It does seem to work this though. That's weird. I have to change the amount. Oops. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What is wrong here? I cannot think what is wrong here, honestly. Flag, class name. There's no like flag or something like that. Lowercase. So it should be here, which is currency, right? Which will be coming from here. So USD is right here, so it should work. Okay. But yeah, let's just leave it at that. I can probably do other stuff here, but like I don't know. Element.query selector. And it should work. It's not converting to right amount, but which I think there is something problem with the current exchange rates. So if I go to the formula, right, convert currency here, and see the thing, and the USD amount and the amount display, converted amount is to current. The formula seems to be correct, but yeah, amount input, so it's there, so it's definitely there. So if I just log this here, just do console.log and do USD amount. If I log this, it will be 1000, right? So it's there, so it's actually working. That means, wait, this amount is different ways. That means it's not working because it's still, and that means it's 1. So if I just log this, what happens? USD, that is, yes, that is USD amount. So if we do converted amount, and just log this right here, it will give us that, which it should. Honestly, it's actually working. The only thing that's not working is for the 2 for some reason. That's why it's setting. So actually the conversion is still working. I don't know what thing it's saying for type error. So type error, okay, so it's saying type error. So we probably need to convert that to a string. So if I go to 100 here, it's 100, right? So currency right here. Currency right here is a thing. So I can find this right here. There's 3, so there's 2 currency. Currency. So here, type error means it cannot change it back to that. So we probably let's log what is this, right? So if I go back again, and right here before it changes lowercase, where is it? Yeah. I console.log. I console.log the currency, what happens? We get the value. So we don't need the value here. We need to see what's happening, right? So if I just do update amount, where am I? Update current display, need from country code, form swap here to currency, currency, select currency. Okay, I cannot figure out what's wrong with this code. I'm gonna leave it for here today. We'll probably debug this in the next video. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'm actually really tired, so I just can't think straight, but I'll just do that much for today's video, guys. Good night, guys.